Welcome back to KritzKast. I'm Dave, joined by Snazzy and Cause Behind Production. How you doing?
Never been better. It looks like we're actually even going live. So, are you keen?
I'm very, very keen. Take me through the mid.
I'll tell you what I can. I don't have a lot of insightful comments so far. It's just sort of standard process. A little bit more aggressive from the soldier on Gushes Goons. They're taking that high ground. Drop though, and we're seeing a pretty bog standard right side commit. Big old bomb out of Cake so far. Didn't really manage to get very much. Cool Everest going for a little bit of damage as well, but Elmo popping off with 2 quick frag, picking up Brownie and his scout partner, and it's just looking very grim for Gushes Goons now.
Yeah, they're stuck in that sewer. They've got the demo and behind the soldiers peeking the door open. It's just the medic. Surely you can throw the kill bind in. Not quite. It's actually this soldier Black Cat is going to run in and he's going to die as well. So pretty dominant mid fight for Kittens. Still going to take them a while to cap up, but they do have large uber advantage in hand. And yeah, it was an interesting mid fight. They all kind of committed to that one corner on the Goons side. And they all just died to Elmo, just firing pipes long range as they tried to leave.
I mean, Elmo's a bit of a beast, man. He really did a disgusting amount of damage while they were grouped up there.
Yeah. Honestly, if you're going to sit like that, you can't just like allow the demo man to shoot at you indefinitely, because it's always going to end tragically as it did. Needs to put a little bit more pressure on the demo, but either way, uber advantage. We're going to see it coming through 4 onto a soldier. They actually get their sentry gun immediately. They obviously heard that it was very, very close. They just stand on the point and absolutely no one even attempts to block it.
We love some textbook TF2, you know. I've said this a couple times before, I think, that the whole point is to cap the point. So if it means you can do it without fighting, I mean, that's perfect, right?
You usually expect the opposition to fight though, right?
One would think. Here we go. Another day, another minute. Only a few minutes into the map, so I mean, there's definitely a lot of room to maneuver. However, that's a really good start for Gushes Goons, picking up the med super early. Their own med going actually into the IT area ends up getting cleaned up by a... So it's now both meds down, but there's a little bit of an ad on the side of Gushes Goons. They have a bit more players, but a lot less health. There's 2 health left on Brownie here. He's definitely going down. And those 2 scouts on altombo's Kittens. Woo!
Yeah, it nearly worked for them. They did the same kind of thing. They didn't eat as much damage from the demo. They plowed forward a little bit more aggressively. But yeah, as you say, at the end of the fight, they had 4 players alive, all on sub 50 health against 2 full health scouts, and particularly on a map like Process, having that health on the scouts is super important.
Yeah, I mean there wasn't really all that much they could, but we see a nice big old push straight on through into second here. They do actually lose one of their soldiers on Gushes Goons. They throw in another one for a bit of a sack who goes down as well. Not really a lot to follow up on, sadly. But yeah, I mean, look, they've still got roughly even Ubers, if not a tiny bit of ad on the side of Gushes Goons. So all they have to do is keep them off the point this time. They're doing what they can. Elmo getting quite a bit of damage in, picking up one of the soldiers. They've still got players on the point here. They really need to pick up these players. They're doing everything they can. Elmo's still alive, bro.
Oh my god. Elmo, he literally just stood there on the point as long as he could. Got shot by a couple of different things, but no one was able to kill him. No one was able to focus on his damage down. Eventually, they just had to keep jumping on the point to, stop the cap, and eventually Elmo was able to kill them all.
He lived so long there, man. That was crazy. Alright, let's see. Come on. We're going into the next mid. We see a right side commit from Gushes Goons. No early aggression this time. They're taking their time. They're getting their health together. We're seeing a bit of a rotate. Both teams taking the opposite team's side. Bit of a bomb coming out from the Kittens there. However, they all group up, and a lot of damage comes out of one of the soldiers there on Gushes Goons, and it's a lot of fighting going on now. It's just a bit crazy. Players going down left, right, and center. It's 3-on-3. It's a soldier and a demo man versus a scout and a demo man. The scout managing to get the upper hand there, I suppose, and pick up a head, which is going to be pretty bad for Gushes Goons here. They end up having to use their Uber, just trying to get out of the sewer that was not theirs. Maid has been left a little bit high and dry here as the soldier goes for the sack onto the med, gets the force, and Maid actually manages to get out as well. So that's, I mean, look, I was just talking about how bad it was for him. They've turned it around.
Yeah, it's actually well negotiated in the end. They bought enough time with the demo but going down to get that Uber, and then ended up getting the medic out with the Uber. Now it's a very scrappy fight in choke, but Elbo's going to get picked up. Andreas going down as well. It's a couple of frags trading either way, but that big frag onto the medic now gives Goons a little bit of a at least heal advantage. It's going to be actually a large Uber advantage. It's not coming up for quite a while. There's a couple of soldiers they have to worry about. Jumping in, lands on the health pack, no health pack there, he's going to go down. And yeah, with Cool Everest down now, that's the main threat out of the equation. Wills actually is picked up as well, so they consistently getting frags. Elmo still wants to fight, he still wants to walk in through choke, but they haven't seen Black Cat's actually in the backlines on the medic, pops him up in the air, but can't get that rocket off, which would have definitely been a crazy air shot, but didn't quite come out in time.
I have to say they've been a bit keen here because Alt has been behind them, harassing the demo man the entire time. The demo man's really only just gotten with to make the fight happen. Someone turned around to try to kill Alt, just got two shot pretty much immediately. So Alt's still back there, and they were really relying on that Uberad, but I don't think they wanted to use it on two. So until they clean up Alt, they're going to have to slow things down a little.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. FedEx is coming out. He's gonna have it's gonna be a 1v1 because he's gonna be left. Actually, Alt picks up the back and is still behind. He's still causing problems. It means he's had to draw one back. It means they can't really do anything in towards the last. Actually, Cake is getting involved as well. Now suddenly it's two players on mid. They're somehow fighting a 2v1 behind on the mid fight. It's I don't know. I think they just all have to go back and clean these players up. But at the moment, it's not quite all on the same page.
Yeah, and the Uberads equalise as they take it straight into last. It's a bit of a better Uber for the attacking team here. Gushes Goons looking like they're actually in a fairly good position. If they can clean up a couple of these players, they picked up the med, they picked up Alt finally. They've picked up a couple of the other players as well, so they only have to deal with these spawners now. Cool Everest down very, very low, trying to fight that point. Elmo's there as well, though. Manages to pick up the med. And that is the first round going the way of Gushes Goons.
Yeah, very, very nice. I like what Hef did though. He just kind of sat on the left side, made sure he controlled the left spawn, made sure he controlled the point. Didn't feel the need to like really drive himself across the point, get himself involved, but just held his position, allowed the more mobile classes to do the job, and you know he was there at the end of the day to help them win the fight.
Oh yeah, I mean he played it fairly well, I think. I don't know, but we've got another mid. We're gonna have to see how this one. Seen yet another sort of right side commit from Gushes Goons. They get their health up, Cakes in nice and deep onto the head. Very, very low. Doesn't manage to collect that frag either. So it's 1 for 1 so far. Two soldiers down, one on either side. Hef going down though, kind of left a little bit high and dry, as I mentioned earlier. Just a bit disconnected from the rest of the team. And Maid and their scout is going to have to bail. They're doing everything they can to get out through that IT area. Scouts are there to meet. Maid, keep bailing. No, okay, they actually use Uber. It's an Uber trade in that upper IT area just to try to get out into the light. And they have managed to get away with their lives.
Yeah, it was nice of them. They decided. I mean, that was a risky play to go for the force there. As we see, just a trade coming out on second. 1 for 1. They're actually trying to bust here through that one shutter, but a soldier lands on it just as it opens. That could have been absolutely devastating had it happened just a fraction of a second later. But either way, yeah, nice little kind of Uber trade to come out, making sure they got the force out of the equation and got themselves safe.
I mean, it's all coming together for Gushes Goons here a little bit. They've even got a little bit of ad to play. Though they are still rocking that sniper, and they just lost the soldier with a 22-second spawn. So that might slow it down a bit too much for them to be able to do anything. So I think we'll be seeing a sniper duel with 4 minutes and 20 on the round time.
Yeah, still enough time to get the snipers out. They're going to have a few opportunities to peek from a few different angles. You're normally looking at the kind of offensive, in this case the blue sniper ult, to make something happen. It seems he's actually brought out the huntsman.
He's a beast.
He's a meme.
No, it's a legitimate strategy, I promise.
Well, we'll see. We'll judge it based on this play whether the Huntsman for Eternity will be a legitimate strategy or a meme.
He's going to take down the French nobility. He's doing what he can. He gets sniped immediately.
There we go. That has been answered for all eternity now.
They managed to pick up the soldier that gets behind them. So that's going to equalise things a little bit. Ult comes back up on Scout as well. So that might speed things up a little bit.
Yeah, not feeling his sniper today, obviously, not feeling his huntsman skills. Either way, we've actually seen Kate get a lot of space in, but the medic's quite far away, and they run in ult as well. Both of them running in, not getting a single point of damage down onto mid. Actually, no, they got 3. I think they got 3 damage down onto mid. So that was not particularly close, but either way, two frags is going to allow Red to try and move out the goons. They're negotiating their way through. They got rid of some stickies. They're actually just going to stand on the cap. Kittens don't want to give it up though. They want to contest. They want to trade in. Wills, I think it was, actually almost got dropped there. Went very, very deep. Not quite followed by his medic, and again not quite followed by his medic. They get the force out. They get the position back. It's 2 for 2 trading here. Brownie's going to run in behind, but actually I think despite them losing Wills there, Kittens have ended up with a decent position.
Yeah, I mean, they picked up the Demo Man in the middle of all that, which reduced a lot of the damage potential. However, one thing to note, because it was never capped by the defending team, the timers kept running down. Okay, look, see, I start talking about it, and then they're just like, alright, stuff, yeah, we're going to cap it. Reset the timer. Kate goes in for a nice big bomb as well. Oh, dude!
I think that was cool. Everest just landed on the point, had a medic, pretty much landed on the medic's head. Somehow managed to miss 2 rockets on him. But despite it, they've actually got 2 frags. So they've got Black Cat, they've got Hef as well, and now Main's been caught as well. They were just dallying in lobby for absolutely no reason while having 2 players down. Kittens just walking through rollout, and they had nowhere to go. They were just stuck in lobby.
I mean, what do you do in that scenario? You just die, right?
I guess so. And they certainly did. And
they
yeah,
did a good job of doing
Kittens.
that. I'll tell you that much for free. Anything more might cost you. Going into yet another mid, 3-1 now, but still more than enough time on the clock to turn this one around. And indeed, it's looking pretty good for Goons, Gushes, or what are they called? Gushes Goons. So they've grouped them all up, but they do end up wiping as they try to get that damage in. They did manage to pick up the med though, so that might slow down the last. It was looking so good from a top-down perspective, so briefly.
Yeah, I mean, they all jumped in onto the cluster of players, but they all ended up just spreading their damage out so evenly. Everyone took a good chunk of damage on the Kittens side, but at the end they only cleaned up that one frag. It was the frag onto the medic, so that was the important one. And actually now they've done a decent little bust onto second here to make sure second cap isn't in the equation. Ubers are even, and with 2 picks now, including a crucial pick onto elbow, they can move towards mid. A bomb comes in towards mid in choke, but is unsuccessful. It is cleaned up, but actually no, suddenly the momentum is shot back in Goons' favour very, very considerably.
Oh yeah, I think they're happy now. They've picked up that. It's the Uber disad is not so bad. They're building a little bit slow, I think, but it's not looking super bad for them. Kate goes in for a nice big bomb towards Trick there. Doesn't end up receiving any frags for that. Black Cat actually going down as well. A nice big pipe at Elmo to turn that one. into a dead person. So yeah, it's even, I don't know, it's fairly even, but with that soldier down, I think that might be what the kittens want to push. No, they're playing it slow. However, Ult's able to just walk behind again, so we'll see how long he lasts this time. Not long.
Not very long, no. Both the soldiers go back, sandwich him, the rolling out soldier, the soldier chasing him back, throw in a taunt for good measure. Nice shot came out in chat. I think it was probably not that good of a shot, probably a little bit of BM either way. But yeah, attempt from Black Cat to go in. The other soldiers in as well, but this blue medic is just too difficult to hit. They've had a lot of opportunities, but they just can't seem to hit him. He's got the swoosh.
Yeah, I mean, Laz is pretty comfortably dealing with all of these bombs, man. And now they're able to push in with that 2-player ad. The force actually comes out, made using there in an attempt to block the point, maybe a little bit. They're taking their time trying to get the force onto Laz. They don't actually get it because ult on heavy, having rolled all the way out, is there to protect. Oh. There's so much damage on the medic. Finally gets the force, 20 health. If they can keep their players alive, I think they're pretty happy on Gushes Goons here.
Yeah, and Andreas is able to get, or Laz, sorry, is able to get the little sandwich for good measure. That's why the heavy is such a powerful class in this game mode, as we know. It's very, very frequently used. For this reason, it can just walk in a choke and fire at long range and do 3 damage a time.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to say they really need to get some damage at choke there, but Hef was just too low, and it's all falling apart now. They have lost the med on the side of the kittens, and they lose the heavy as well, so it's just Will's in behind. But he gets absolutely mint. Yeah, such a weird fight, man.
Just laughing at how incredibly useless that heavy was in that fight. It did absolutely nothing. He threw a sandwich, picked it up himself, and then got killed immediately. But while that was happening, the soldier just swapped off to the sniper. Very good class against the enemy heavy, and he just kind of headshot everyone. And yeah, now kittens are actually, despite losing that fight so considerably, almost completely dunking on people. They clean up absolutely everyone who was stuck on mid, and Brown and Main are just going to have to run back all the way to last. Second is not going to be contested whatsoever, so Wills is going to be able to run on it and get some cap time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty easy cap for them, but they have got like this huge Uber disadvantage at this point, which might give Gushes Goons what they need to push out. I'm hoping it does, because I want to see some more back and forth out. They're quite keen. They push through that one area. Cake is behind. Cool Everest is very close as well.
Oh.
And that's going to be all it needs to get the drop out of Made, sadly. So that's going to dash their chances of pushing out there just straight against a rock, isn't it?
Yeah, no, kittens have the option. They're 6 up, they're 6 against 4. They can walk in towards the last. Will's a little bit too early on the draw, does get taken out by the defensive booters. They're still trying to make this push happen. They clean up the demo man, they stand on the point. Just one soldier is not going to be able to jump back and block it, so there we go, kittens with a good transition. And now 4-1 up.
Yeah, I mean, 4-1 up with 11 minutes left on the clock. I think you're fairly comfy, so we might see some, I suppose, unusual strats now, but it's very much on the line for Gushes Goons. They take a little bit more of a left side position this time. They're pretty keen on it. They do lose one of their soldiers very, very early. Ult's in quite deep as well. Hasn't actually managed to go down until just then. They have picked up Cake as well, so it's kind of looking all right for them now. However, 2 for 2 so far. 2 soldiers for a soldier and a scout, though, so it's kind of looking all right for them. They have got a really poor position here, though, crammed up against the wall. They're trying to battle back out of it, but the rest of the Kittens team is so clumped, and they're getting so much damage off as well. The soldier comes in with the spawn. Nice big bomb, very early, quite keen, no help. Manages to collect the demo man with the help of the scout. They get the force out of Laz as well, who ends up getting skybombed in the midst of that Uber. And that's going to be a very good mid for them. They now have full ad as they try to push through choke here. Cake's on the mid. The force comes through. They do lose their demo man in the middle of the Uber. but they have picked up that soldier. They picked up ult as well, so that's going to be a fairly free second for, and probably the most exciting mid we've seen so far.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I didn't think Goons were as aggressive as they perhaps could have been with the picks and the damage that they had, but now they're getting aggressive. Now they're going in towards last. They want to get down onto the medic. They're actually just standing on the point, though, while everyone was trying to form a sponge to protect their medic. That allowed the Goons to walk in. They've done such a good job capping that second point up. The last was open and they took it.
Yeah. I mean, they're a totally free last as far as they're concerned. They even managed to pick up Elmo as they sort of focused that damage on because he was the only person really threatening the... But here we go. Let's see if they can do it again. 9 minutes left on the clock. I mean, they're bringing it back, so... Hef down very, very low. Finally gets his butt. It's looking a bit more aggressive out of the kittens this time, which is not a phrase I expected to be saying tonight. I'm not going to... all of the players on Gushes Goons needing a bow. They managed to get a couple of those, but they're still all very, very low. The men in the demo are kind of disconnected from the rest of the team as well. It's looking a bit tragic. Made going down to a nice big bow out of Laz, and I think that's going to be all she wrote for this mid, as Brownie's sort of the only player left alive. Trying to come back through the choke, maybe trying to make something happen. Are they...
I think it's just going to go
Have
for
they
the
gotten
hiding
confused
spot.
about which side they need to be pushing toward?
I think they're just going back. Somebody who's not confused is this soldier. He gets him, Batman. Probably not his real name. Probably shouldn't be giving away the fact you are Batman. But either way, gets the frag onto the medic. And now their Goons are going to have a slight uber advantage.
Look, it was either Smazzer or Gus. I don't know which. I think Gus. No, Smazzer. Yeah, it was definitely Smazzer. Okay, here we go. Nice big drop from Smazzer there to be able to turn that one around. But they're sort of getting trashed in choke here as they try to push through with the uber ad that they have. They need to leapfrog it into some player ad, I think.
Yeah, it's just stabilising slightly. I guess they're waiting for this Uber on the Goon side. They're playing so far back, surely they know they have like a 30% ad or so, but Black Cat's in, Batman's in as well. We're going to have the whole DC gang in very soon. And yeah, looks like... I honestly don't know what's happening. Why are Blue so far back? Probably because of the ad. Why are Red so far back? Because they don't want to use Uber. And I guess eventually Goons just walk in and Cool Everest is going to crater.
Ult is behind yet again. He's on literally like 1 health. He finally gets a pack. The Ubers are traded on the point. It's looking a little bit better for Gushes Goons. They just need to keep some players alive and not lose them in the midst of this Uber. But they are getting focused down one by one so far. It is looking fairly even, if not a tiny bit of add to the side of the Kits. They picked up another player as well. Their medic is still full health. The health is just looking grim on the Goons, and they're going to have to back straight out of that one. It's literally, like, basically perfectly even Ubers. So if they can stop these players from pushing straight in, I think they're in with a chance.
A lot of space is being afforded to them. They've managed to bust their way in through choke. They've found some space in IT. They have lost two though. Alt and Cool Everest both go down. Elmo's very, very weak in choke as well. And the medic Laz is able to sneak out just about in time. As it is, Maid is being supported by Fenix. And oh no, medic just gets caught a choke there, Laz, and Red have lost a bunch of players, but Goons are going to be happy with that medic frag and go back, and oh, unfortunately they get forced.
Yeah, I think Maid maybe once bitten, twice shy. Possibly could have held that one longer. Pardon me, decides to force, and look, the entirety of the Kittens are in sewer. They're looking to push straight on through that one. They picked up a couple of players as well. They're pushing straight on through the choke now. Elmo taking so much damage at choke does end up managing to get out with his life. A huge midi out of hand. Massive shot to destroy Cake. And with 3 players down, this is looking pretty juicy for them.
Yeah, looking pretty nice. You can see Heavy's feeling himself jumping forward onto the rock. Firing sticky after pipe after sticky after pipe. But did you see something funny?
With Laz Look, he got air shot and slammed into the ground. He was on single-digit health and just fleeing. Holy hell. It was
Anyway.
so close. Sorry.
No problem. No problem. I completely missed anything. I thought something super hype was going to happen, but all it ended up was the demo man landing on a rock. But either way, big bomb coming in now. Both the soldiers jumping in towards Laz. He does get forced out. You can see rocket coming towards him. Might have splashed him, so pops out. And now, despite having 2 soldiers down, they are holding close at choke now here. The goons, they want to use the uber aggressively if they get the opportunity, but they've actually just been busted through IT. They've dropped 2 players. They do get forced out of choke. Surely Elmo will go down. No, the pipe actually misses him, hits the medic, and Elmo lives, gets arrowed up back, beamed back up to a lot of health, and it's actually goons are going to have to run back because of how low all of their players were briefly.
It seems to be a pretty consistent thing that like most of the goons team is very low, sort of like midway through a fight, and they take quite some time to get back. I don't know, man. There's so much more health on the side of the kittens, and I think they're just able to sort of grind that forward, you know. Here comes a nice big bomb out of one of the soldiers, though. Does end up getting minced, like absolutely memed on in mid. So it isn't quite able to turn that one into a frag. Kate coming through on the other side. So much damage on the Hef, no one there to protect. The Uber comes through the choke though. So they've used that Uber for second, but they have picked up 2 players. They picked up Hef and Brown. So maybe with that, they're going to be able to push that one. It's a pretty long spawn. They picked up Black Hat as well.
Yeah, I think they're going to want to put pressure into last. They can at least get the force out, even if they're not going to necessarily be able to get the cap itself. Still 7 seconds on a couple of spawns here, so they're going to work their way in towards the point. They know that Medic does have Uber in hand, but one game of Wills is going to step on the point. The force does come out, but they lose Lansford. They actually get completely cleaned up. Is it overcommit? No, the 2 players on the point, but a big bomb in by both the soldiers, and Black Cat gets the double, the 2 for 1, so it's a full wipe from the kitten side, and Goons now have just under 3 minutes to pull this back.
Oh no! Ult back up on the Huntsman, does actually get a frag immediately out of spawn onto Hef, who was trying to trap them as they push into mid. They weren't actually able to pick up anyone at that forward spawn. They've managed to pick up a couple of players very quickly thereafter though, for just their demo. Both scouts down. So that's definitely pushable.
Definitely push aboard, yeah. I mean, all Kittens had to do was, slow it down a little bit, but now suddenly full wipe, and the momentum is suddenly against a mate. It's coming up with that. Only a slight add. I think it possibly should have been more, but whether both these teams know or not, we'll have to wait and see. Hef wants to get going, Black Cat wants to get going, but they are having to wait a little bit because one of the scouts is capping, one of the scouts is still quite a bit behind, and now suddenly they're moving through one, but Laz is up to 100% Uber already.
Yeah, early Uber out of Laz. This time, though, Maid managing to hold that one for quite some time. It's a much better Uber for them as they push in here. Rest of the team finally following up as we speak. There is still a sentry gun that they need to deal with. They haven't really done a lot in terms of gaining ground either. They're all a little bit low. There's only 3 of them left. It's just Hef and Maid at this point. Maid actually doing everything she can to run away. Yeah, it's the rest of the team has wiped. Cake is already so aggro. Probably waiting to meet Maid. Yes, indeed. Absolute damage. Oh, finally gets the frag just before they get traded.
That was almost the biggest beat for the century. But either way, ends up being a successful operation. We're going to see Brownie run in, try and make something happen. It's desperate times now with just a minute left. The bomb comes in from Hef. He's the only man on his team alive, but he's having to fight against everyone else on the Kittens, and it's going to be briefly another full wipe as Kittens can just transition this into mid with the game done and dusted now.
The question now, I suppose, is whether Kittens is going to hit that 5-round limit and end the game a little bit early, or if it's just going to run out of time. They've only got 30 seconds left, but it's looking pretty good for them so far. They've got 3 picks, but they have lost their demo man for So they're capping that second point now. They do have the Uber as well as they push in here. The Med's still down. They pick up Hef, Brownie, and Fenix very, very quickly. And like I sort of semi-predicted, I'm going to claim it regardless. There we go. They hit the 5-round timer, and they stop the clock with 10 minutes, 10 seconds, left.
Nostradamus casting alongside me, as we see.